Good afternoon, everyone. So, this is the first episode of our Science Talk. So, in this first show, today with us, Dr. Himanshu Jha. Dr. Himanshu Jha earned his PhD in physics from Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati in 2015. And currently, he is assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Electronics and Computer Engineering Department, basically Faculty of Engineering in Gifu University, Japan. His research interests are basically focused on developing novel materials for sustainable energy applications. Specifically, he worked on the silicon and carbon-based semiconductor material for the solar cell application and exploring the potentials of group 4 capsurate materials for the various devices and applications. He specializes in chemical vapor deposition technique for thin film depositions. This is his brief profile. If you want to know him more, you can visit the Gifu University and that particular department to know more about his profile and his work. And even if you want to contact him, you can contact through his mail ID, which we'll provide after this session. So, good afternoon, Dr. Himanshu. So, as you know that this is the first episode of our science talk, and the basic audience of this science talk is our uh, students uh, who wants to pursue their career in physics particularly. They wants to do their B.Sc physics and they want to do further research after their this particular B.Sc degree. So this our today's aim in this talk is to put this entire conversation in very simple way so that the student can understand. And if I found any, you can say that the confusion or question from the student, I'll let you know through the mail so that you can uh, resolve that particular query after that. In the meanwhile, I would also like to introduce our few of the faculty members with us in this panel. Dr. Ramakrishna, he is a assistant professor in the Department of Physics, School of Science, Watson University. With us, Dr. Beauty Pandey, she is also a assistant professor in the Department of Physics. And with us, Dr. Dev Narayan Katua, he is assistant professor the Department of Mathematics, School of Science, Watson University. And of course, myself, Dr. Daya Shankar, I am currently acting Dean in the School of Science of Watson University here. So let us begin our conversation, Dr. Himanshu. So my first question is basically what inspires you to pursue career in physics and how did you get started in this particular field?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Dr. Daya, and all our friends. It's great to see you after such a long time, all of you. Yeah, well, this is very tricky question. Who inspired me? Uh, Actually, uh, when I was in +2, I was more devoted to the chemistry compared to the physics. But during my +2 days, one of physics teacher inspired me actually. His teaching style inspired me to become a student of physics. And then eventually in graduation and master, I means fortunately been means taught by a few teachers who are excellent teaching style and depth of their knowledge subject inspired me to become a physicist, and simultaneously along with that, the advancement in the physics, which was means in daily newspaper or other like the Hindus and other newspaper articles, inspired me to become a student of physics. So that was my small journey, you can say, towards the physics, from the chemistry to physics.
It's a great things that you got inspired from your even your faculty in the initial days. That's what we all are getting inspiration from our faculty members. By the way, for our audience, I would like to tell that what are the eligible criteria for B.Sc before proceeding further. So, as per the UGC norms, you require a 10 plus 2 along with certain percentage of your marks. The percentage of marks would be 50%, 60%. That basically depends on the university does. What are the things, what are the criteria they are basically putting. And here in India, and particularly in our Watson University and School of Sciences, we have a 3-year B.Sc courses, graduation courses is there. So this entire things is basically of 3-year courses. Now, Dr. Himanshu, I would like to ask another question. So, what are the key skills which you think which is required for study physics? What are the key skills which students require to study these things?
Well, obviously, the first skill you need to study in physics is mathematics, and that's obvious. But sometimes we know mathematics is called as the language of physics. So, mathematics is essential for study of physics. Apart from that, you also need the observation skill. Carefully observation is also required about the any physical phenomena you see. You have to carefully observe that phenomena. Otherwise, it will be just a bunch of mathematical equation, which will be not give you any means your imagination or what's happening actually in physically. So you have to, and essentially mathematics is obviously is needed. Without mathematics you can't do anything, but at the same time you also need the carefully examination or observation of physical phenomena. So these are the two most basic requirement in the physics.
Okay. That's nice. Along with these questions, one other question is basically aligned with this question is what are the some of the key skills that students need to develop to succeed in B.Sc in the physics program?
As I told previously, is mathematics. You have to be good in mathematics. You can't basically ignore mathematics. So if you want to study, if you want to go to further study, you have to good in the mathematics. Also with the experiment, because my personal experience that some of the students actually means what would I say, don't like they're doing some experiment. They thought that this is not means this is only the time consuming, we didn't know. So also the experiment, to do the experiment is also essential part of physics. Then only you learn the all the means how this physics is gradually developed so far in last 400 year, last 400 year. Simultaneously there is a mathematics, then there is an experiment. So we need for a student to be good in the mathematics and do this also some experiment to understand the physical phenomena underlying physics underlying in any physical phenomena.
Okay, so should I conclude this entire thing that a student must have, you can say that, brilliant in mathematics, then only he or she can pursue his career as in B.Sc physics, or what?
No, you can't say that's brilliant, but yeah, of course you need. I mean, the brilliant itself is you don't have to means be a means, um, but at least you need
Fundamental understanding, that you
not
are saying.
fundamental, because some of the key like the calculus, the
Mhm,
differential equation,
mhm.
integration. So these are this basic part, and also the basics is also always be there with
Yes,
mathematics.
yes.
Without it, it's
Fundamental is,
required.
fundamental is must needed for this.
Yeah, fundamental is essential. So whatever be up to your +2 mathematics course, you need more than that.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So, Dr. Himanshu, what are the some of the common misconceptions that students have about studying physics? That means, and how can these be addressed? Nowadays, there are lots of misconceptions, as you told that, as you are correctly pointed out, that mathematics is one of the things. But as I asked just now that he or she should be a brilliant student, then only he or she can pursue this. So you have rectified it. Not brilliancy is not required. Like that, there are so many misconceptions are there nowadays. Suppose a student want to study or take B.Sc physics for his graduations. So, what do you think? What are the some of the misconceptions?
Yeah, the first misconception is that the mathematics is means you have to be brilliant in mathematics. You should be mathematician first and then face it. It's
Yes.
not essential, and this your conversation actually point me one story. If you have seen or if you have means studied means read that book by Stephen Hawkins, A Brief History of Time, is a physics book without any single equation.
Yes. 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 Agree.
And on another hand, there are some books like physics formula book, another, which where we have only the equation. There's nothing, no explanation, no theory is written. So it's a very contrast. But there is a misconception that this is a very hard subject and you should be very good in mathematics. But you have to understand the physics of the our understanding physics of the our means working principle of the any physical phenomena. And then there are at the B.Sc level there is this few misconception which I was also having in during my graduation days, that this quantum mechanics is difficult, statistical mechanics is difficult. But when we did master and then in IIT, when we studies things in a broader perspective, then we realize that this is actually a misconception. It's easier than our classical physics, which we will like mechanics. Everyone, including I think you are a mechanical engineering student, so you know this. The mechanics, we think that the mechanics is very easy, and in graduation we also think that the mechanics is easy and quantum mechanics is somehow different. But eventually we found that the quantum mechanics is easy and this classical mechanics or so-called mechanics is a little more mathematical and more complex mathematics if you go in advanced level. So these are the few general misconceptions, not all.
Yes, yes, yes. You have correctly pointed out by hearing the word quantum, even
Yeah.
though some faculty members is basically scared that what the quantums and its classical things is there. But by practicing these things or study these things, I think this is not there is a no such type of things that a human cannot understand if he or she can give his proper time and try to understand things. Okay, so can
Yeah.
you please share some examples of the different career paths that can available for the students who graduate with the B.Sc in physics?
After graduation of graduate in physics, obvious first thing is obvious that you have to do the master in physics,
Yes.
or so in India or abroad. Um, so in India, there are few courses also available if you want to switch to engineering, like electronics and engineering. You can switch. There are some courses in Kolkata. I remember there's some institute is there. I didn't remember the name of the institute. Is a very famous institute by some scientist. I forget his name at the moment. So there also you can do this MTech, integrated MTech. That was uh, I think 3.5 year integrated MTech or some kind. And you can do pursue any kind of means like the after master, or you can go to the research, or there are some scientific research institution. So there also is you can go to the instrumentation part, higher study in instrumentation.
Okay. So, what are some of the opportunities which a student can get after doing his graduation in physics? Let us consider here. In foreign universities, what are the prospects and what are the benefits of getting these things, a higher study like PhD or even masters from the foreign
Yeah,
universities?
so after graduation you have to do the master first, and that's why I was checking. I haven't means proper idea. You can do master. So you have to first check whether the university abroad is accepting this 3-year courses, as this course is 3-year course graduation.
Ye-
So because some of the institution, most of the institution I know, the in United Kingdom, that's in England, except 3-year B.Sc course for master. European countries also, but some are prefer actually the 4-year B.Sc course. So there you have to do extra 1-year course there, and then only you will able to enroll as a master. So in foreign there are plenty of opportunity. You can switch to the any means technical engineering side. It's like the material, a master in material science, master in electronics and computer, or any other electrical and electronics also. You can do master in these subjects.
That's great. And actually, I would like to tell something regarding, as you mentioned, that 4-year bachelor's degree is also available in foreign countries. Uh, in here in India, UGC is basically the regulatory or the governing body of all these courses. So, as per the things which I have read on the internet, UGC also planning to basically give a circular, or you can say that the mandate that 4-year basically courses in the B.Sc would be honors courses, and 3 years basically comes under the graduation or general. But the earlier it was their B.Sc or B.Sc honors 3-year courses known as the B.Sc or B.Sc honors. But right now, I think the scenario would change.
Yeah,
Currently, it is the same way, but maybe in the future the scenario would change, and the 4-year this B.Sc would known as B.Sc honors, and the 3-year is general the B.Sc. Anyway, what are some of the current challenges facing in the field of physics? And how can, suppose, a new student can help to address these challenges in their future career process?
so new challenges in the physics itself, the
Yes,
subject.
yes,
Yeah, so currently one and I mean major fundamental challenge in physics is obviously unification of all the forces of the nature. That's an ongoing program. This is very a vast program of unification of major forces. Basically, is a we call in physics high energy physics theory and experiment. Uh, so between quantum gravity, combination of quantum gravity to this current standard model. So that's the main thing. Apart from also, we have various challenges in nanotechnology, which is quite means an immediate means uh, application in various field of electronics, renewable energy, and in all other areas of our daily life. So in material science, especially nanotechnologies, so it's a major challenge is there.
yes. As you pointed out, nanotechnology. So we have in this panel one expert from the nano, Dr. Beauty Pandey. I would like to ask one question that can you tell me that what are the courses which we are basically floating in the School of Sciences in the Boston University. I would like to tell these things to our audience that we have a very vast, or you can say that very diverse field in the B.Sc physics, which we are going to offer. So, can you tell me the name of these things, and in the short brief, what are the that means what are the contents of these things?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daya Shankar. Hello, Dr. Jha. So it's nice seeing you again after such a long span of time. So, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Daya Shankar, that we are floating as of now five different variants in BSc Physics honors, and I believe he has already informed that the subjects have been divided for 3 years, basically 6 semesters in all the variants, and fourth year also we have kept. The fourth year is will be basically fully dedicated either for the research or for the industry exposure for the student. And in that way, this the criteria which Dr. Jha was mentioning, that in many universities they accept only 4 year graduation degrees, so that problem also we have tried to resolve. So coming for the variants, apart from the traditional BSc Physics course together with maths and computer, sorry, together with maths and chemistry, we have also proposed a BSc Physics with maths and electronics, BSc Physics with maths and computer. Apart from this, we have tried to be really innovative, and we have also introduced BSc in nanoscience and BSc in renewable energy with physics. So BSc, like since we come from nanotechnology, nanoscience, me and Dr. Ramakrishna also has a lot of exposure in nano. As well as in energy. So basically, in the first semester would be common for all the courses, and from this third semester onwards, we are initiating electives such as material science, instrumentation techniques, and to top it off and to make the students more ready with the industry, we are also introducing computer programming along with the nanoscience, so that while we were doing, like while I was doing my nanoscience nanotechnology research, I always faced a situation where we had to either choose between theoretical or modeling part or the experimental part. By this way, we have tried to address both of these situations. And in renewable energy, we will be giving them a brief, or shall I say a broad understanding of all the different kind of renewable sources of energy, such as wind, hydro, solar. And then we have some electives in the fifth semester. Depending upon their liking, they can have a second paper either in wind or in hydro or in solar energy and its applications. So this is our plan as of now.
So, thank you very much, Dr. Pandey. I hope Doctor, that you understand that how diverse and how you can say that the different segments we are trying to add in the traditional B.Sc physics. We are basically exploring this opportunity, and moreover, I would like to explain these things to our one of the faculty, Dr. Ramakrishna, in the last this sessions. He will explain you what are the diversification which we have already made in this process. But moving ahead, my next question is how important, Dr. Himanshu, you think that the interdisciplinary collaboration in the field of physics is essential, and what are some of the benefits of the working with the expert is required?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Pandey, for yeah. I saw that your course structure, and I must say that's very well designed. And I have seen this is the first time that there's so many option with the B.Sc physics, and means very useful. Means means it depend upon your choice whether you are in theoretical means like theoretical work, you can go to the computational side, or if you want to do nanoscience, you can go for the advanced material. So it's very good. And sorry, your question was uh,
Interdisciplinary collaboration
yeah,
in the field of.
interdisciplinary. Yeah, interdisciplinary is very much required in today's scenario, because in India, I saw this is very lack of interdisciplinary even in IITs, because most of the our work in the physics is means quite related, or means related to the say electrical and electronics engineering, like the solar cell or the renewable energy or in the material science. So most of the our works actually quite means same as in electronics engineering or the material science. So, but they know the only the means the instrumentation part, or what would say the application part, but they don't know the basic physics in advance condition means in advance. So this interdisciplinary is very much required to solve the challenges that we have in our country as well as in industry. So that is very much required.
Okay. So I have the last two questions.
Yeah.
So the next question is, how do you stay, or how do you think a student can stay up to date with the latest research and advancement in the field of physics? And what are the few resources do you recommend for the student who wants to do the same?
Yeah, first the resources. So resources is now it's quite easily available in India. So at the level of say graduation,
Yes.
you don't have to study the advanced paper or other. You need
Yes.
some basic scientific journals like the Scientific American, Current Science, which is quite easily available. So now Scientific American is also very easily available in India. Uh, and Current Science, and there is one, yeah, Current Science, and one more, I forget the name, published by the in the Indian Institute of Indian Academy of Science. So it is quite easily available and freely available online. So these are the major resources which will any students can access and find the latest um, scientific advancement in the physics as well as the related area like the material science or electronics. So, so the your other was that the uh,
Up to date. How the student will
yeah,
up to date.
up to date. So these are the basic things. These are the basic things. Also, in some of the paper, I don't know still they are publishing or not in Hindu our days. We actually
There is
in
a
a
science column
yeah,
also.
so science column in a I mean weekly on
Mhm.
Saturday or Sunday. There was a
Mhm.
weekly 1 page or 2 page special on the Hindu paper, not other any paper, but on this
Okay.
newspaper, Hindu newspaper. So there also good resources.
Okay. So, and my last question is, what advice do you have for the students who are considering pursuing a career in physics, but may be unsure about whether it is a right fit for them or not?
Oh yeah, it's a very subjective question,
Yes.
mm, and very hard to try to convince
There
anyone.
is a no straightforward
Yeah,
answer for
no,
this one.
it's a straightforward answer. But
Yes.
yeah, one thing I would like to say was that the physics is a very vast subject.
Yes.
If you are interested and if you're fascinated, and which we actually all of our means during +2, all of must have experienced that the physics is most of the students actually are very good in physics. Normally for the entrance examination of engineering or anywhere. So I mean, once you just go a little bit deeper in the physics, you find it's very fascinating. One hand you have atoms, electron, and another hand you have to explain the star and other things. So our range is very broad from the minus 10 to the power minus 30 to 10 to the power several 30s. So our range is very vast. So if you study, of course, you have to study in a precise manner, and only one part you can't be expert of from minus, I mean, atomic physics to the astrophysics. But physics is a very vast subject. So if anybody interested can at least means read means few book. If at the +2 level, I would suggest like the Feynman lectures on physics, and then one very good book by Physics of Impossible
Okay.
is a non-science, means in the futuristic book by Michio Kaku, Professor Michio Kaku. So that book I would suggest to read it. Then you would realize how vast is this physics. And even if you don't want to study the means physics, if you want to do the good in engineering and pursue in higher study in engineering and research in engineering, you need basic physics and mathematics. I mean, advanced level.
Okay.
So with
So, so I
Excuse,
would like to conclude.
excuse me, Dr. Daya Shankar.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, before you conclude, I'll just ask, I just want to ask one question, like it's for the broader perspective of the students. So Dr. Himanshu, you, like we all know, we all have gone through that phase when we did our +2 or when we were in our 10th. Very few of us were very clear about what we would want to do. Majority of us would be either guided by the peer pressure or what our parents would say, that this is better, that is better. It's only later in life and lucky for us that we have chosen something which we really enjoy. So my question would be, since you have got such vast experience of different kind of mentalities, since you have stayed in India in different places and even in abroad, that which kind of a student or how a student would realize that whether or not he or she has an inclination towards sciences, and let alone say physics. So if you could, again, it's a very subjective question, but if you could throw some light on it, so it would be very beneficial for our audience.
yeah, for yeah, as you know, as you told, it's a subjective question. See, for few students, it's from the beginning they have very clear about their means that we have to study this, we have to go in this area. But yeah, most of this it's a peer pressure. But I would like to suggest for even for parents and other to read the first few basics books in physics or in mathematics. And as I suggested, these books, The Physics of Impossible, and there are other few books also which I have to say, like this. Surely You Are Joking by Richard Feynman. I forget the name of this book. Something like this. Surely You Are Joking by Richard Feynman. So these kind of book which is actually non-mathematical, so anybody can read it at the beginning of say 12th, 10th or 12th. There they can basically, and of course the career counseling is also required by the expert. So depending upon their interest and capabilities, they can motivate the student.
So we
So
can rightly conclude that physics is not something to be afraid of.
yeah, there's nothing afraid in, not in physics, in any subject. You don't be afraid. Once you're afraid, then you won't be learn anything. You have to tackle the problem. So whether it's not for everyone, none of these things is for everyone. So if you are very good in physics, it doesn't mean that he or she be good in other also. If somebody like physics, that's okay. Somebody don't. and it's also okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ramakrishna, do you want to ask or discuss? Please?
Yeah. Uh, Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Himanshu. I would like to ask only one question. So, as a physicist from MSc to so far now, how you are enjoying as a physicist by using the physics laws by applying in a everyday life? So, how you are enjoying the physics?
Yeah, I've very much enjoying means physics, as well as I'm still enjoying chemistry, because here when I started doing experiment, then I realized that I have to do some chemistry also, and especially here in Japan, I'm doing a little more chemistry than physics. So I actually enjoy very much physics, because when you see many of part of physics which we used in the laboratory is not taught in the course at the graduation or the master level, but when we study specific book on that subject, that part of physics, then we find that's very fascinating.
As you mentioned, yeah, because whatever we are reading, the physics inside the book, not only that, basically a student through the observations. So basic question is why it is happening, what is the physics behind this? Then a student can, visualize in a broader way, or they have to think their own way so that the physics laws and everything, the ethos will come, and so that understanding also towards the physics concepts. So is it helpful to the student in a broader
Yeah,
way?
yeah, truly,
To,
truly. Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, it's a help student.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, you want to, Dr. Dev Narayan, do you have any questions you want to discuss here?
Hello, Dr. Jha. I am Dr. Dev Narayan Khatul from Department of Mathematics. So, at the time of +2, I have also some feared about the physics. So, after hearing from you, it's nice. It is. I have no doubts about all that. So, thank you.
Pleasure.
So now I would like to thank our guest, Dr. Himanshu. So thank you very much for being a part of this conversations. And I hope that while hearing these things in any of the platforms, student can get benefited from these things. And if they want to ask any questions, please let us know so that we can discuss it in the in more subsequent our science talk episodes in later one. And I would like to say, Dr. Himanshu, that we would like to see you in our campus somewhere in near future, so that we can interact along with our students, because they will, I'm sure that they will greatly get your themselves helped by your experience and the other things. So we are expecting that in someday in future you will visit our university. So
Thank you.
thank you again from entire our Watson University, and thanks, and hoping to see you
Thank
near
you. Thank you
future.
very much. Sure, sure, sure. I also very eager to see you, to visit the Oxford University soon. I will try to be there. Okay. Thank you
So
very
thank
much.
you very much. And now I am ending this entire session. Thanks. Thank you again.